Welcome back to Glowing Card Gaming. And now your host, Adam. Hey, quick, kept the intro. I don't know why my background is not having the overlay. It's weird. Maybe something changed. I can't figure it out right now. But it's definitely, I think it's the screen capture. Well, anyway, let's get into it. I wanted to chat up a little bit of sports. Again, as you can see on the wall behind me, maybe more if I shifted it. You can see I got Rockies, Nuggets, and a couple Broncos pennants up there. Most of these are from, well, the Rockies one's from the inaugural year, 93. But the rest of them are from 1976. I don't even know what that mascot is for the Denver Nuggets. I don't remember seeing that or who it is. So, that's a weird one. Anyway, a couple things I wanted to talk through. And I want to give a shout out to Beerly Sports, at Beerly Sports here on YouTube and also on X. I went 3 for 3 on the channel for picking NFL games, and the promise was a shout out. Now, I kind of picked a little, I guess, weird because only like 13 of us got it. And when you read the shout outs, it's like rapid fire, bing, 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 at Glowing Card Gaming. So it was there, but it was like real quick, you had to list. So the one thing I would say is just breathe. You're drinking beer on your podcast. You think you'd be a little slower at reading those things, but whatever. But one of the guys on Beerly also went 3 for 3 taking the Texans, Cowboys, and Green Bay to go 3 for 3. So I wanted to start out by saying, yep, they were true to their word. Because of that, I've now subscribed to Beerly Sports, both on YouTube and on X. They have a new fan. I think it's an okay podcast. I mean, it's interesting. I think the more I watch it, the more I'll probably get into it. Because it seems like pretty good. At least I'm just starting out. So, there's that. I find it interesting they talk about what beer they're drinking during the podcast, and then they talk about the podcast. They're going to do their 3 for 3 again on Friday. I'll take another crack at it, see if I can get another shout out. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about is I was just watching Nick's Tears on Nick Wright, who is clearly a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I mean, he is. And he was a reporter covering the Chiefs. I think he was there before he made it on to, I want to say ESPN. I think he's on ESPN. Or I don't know what channel he would be if it wasn't, maybe it's CBS Sports or CBS. I don't know. But they do a pretty good job on that channel, except for Nick has never given the Broncos any due or credit, which is understandable for the past, 6-7 years. The Broncos just have not, since Manning left, they haven't been there until this year. And I can't believe how much hate is out there for the Denver Broncos. They really have a lot of hate. It's amazing. But I need to give credit to Nick Wright who finally gave the Broncos some credit and some dues. And I think his tier this week was dead on, actually. I mean, they struggled against the, I almost said the old name, the Washington Commanders. I'm old. I just want to say the Oakland Raiders. I want to say the San Diego Chargers. The LA Rams are natural to me because I watched them in LA years before they went to St. Louis. Although I liked their logo in St. Louis with the gold Rams horns and the dark blue. That was nice. I really enjoyed that helmet. I don't like the new LA Rams logo near as much. I would think they would want to go back to the old helmets. It's kind of like the Broncos. I like the old style logo. That's on both ones. So I would like to see Denver actually just go back to the old logo, to be honest. I think it was better than the new logo. Not saying I hate the new logo for the Broncos. The Broncos' new logos, I like the new one too. I just prefer this old one more. That's all. But I did want to give a shout out to Nick Wright, who a couple weeks late on it. I could understand even when the Broncos are 6-2. I mean, with Josh McDaniels, they were 6-2, and then I think they failed to make the playoffs at 8-8 back when they played 16 back then. Going 2-6 in their final. So I could see that, right? But when they went 7-2, 8-2, now there should be some respect on, like, if the Raiders were 8-2 right now, I would hate it, but I'd have to admit they're good. And then 9-2, and he's like just crapping all over Bo Nix. Granted, Nix is getting the job done. I was more excited about him in year one. He looked better in year one than year two. He looks almost the same as year one. It's almost, maybe it's that sophomore slump. I mean, they talk about quarterbacks having, although he did make a heck of a throw in that Washington game. Falling down, threaded the needle. That looked like an elite quarterback. So there are glimmers of hope there that he's going to just start turning around. The problem, I think, with Nix isn't with Nix. It's his receivers. I remember there were 4 or 5 critical times where a pass should have been caught. And maybe it wasn't the best, most perfect pass, but it hit him in the hands, and they weren't stretched out or reaching for anything. They had their hands like here, and it hit him here, and they didn't catch it. And those are, and I think that happened on a drive twice, where it happened like on first down and third down, and then they failed to convert and they had to punt. That's not on Nix. That's not on Nix. Nix is delivering, his receiver not catching. But I saw a couple of things in there that I really, really liked from Nix, and something that I really hated from Nix as well. But, I mean, that elite pass where he was falling down and he just nailed it. But I remember there was one play distinctly where Nix, it looked like he was feeling some pressure, and he was looking around, going through his reads, and then in the NFL, I don't know if you're really supposed to do this or not, but I know it gave him confidence. So he could kind of feel the clock in his head, the timer going, and I just remember him doing that third look, and then he looked at the right side next to him, because I think that's where he was feeling the pressure from, saw the block was there, and immediately set into the pocket. Like, all of a sudden he was like, oh, I'm good. went back to his reads, and I think the first read he saw after that, he gunned it, and that ended up being like a 30-something yard pass. I mean, it was phenomenal. So I could see that confidence growing and building there. So it's going to be very interesting to see Knicks over the next few weeks. We'll see this week. They got the Raiders coming up this week. So we'll see what that one looks like. It's a divisional game, so you never know what is going to happen. So just wanted to cover a little bit, not go overboard or too long. And I think the first, how long before I really started? So I was in 3 minutes, so about 10 minutes, 11, 12 minutes here of sports coverage. I hope when people are watching this or watching the VOD, they appreciate that. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, all that stuff. Everything you do helps the channel. It's all good. It's understood. I do it for the hood. All right. Let's get into the Modtricca video. Let me shift over here. I want to try to see if I can get my background back. I'll go ahead and stop this. Here, we are a little behind on videos, huh? Oh, maybe he hasn't posted one in a little bit. It's been 5 days, and I think we watched that one. So we might have one of the older ones. Well, we might be catching up here. But I wanted to get something out tonight because the past 2 nights I didn't stream. I don't think I'll be staying up late on a Sunday. Or wait, when was that? Whenever I stayed up late last. So I'm like, yeah, tomorrow, blah blah blah. Nah, I've been tired the whole time. I need to catch up on sleep. Maybe I'll do that whenever I don't have a job anymore. All right. If that happens, there's possibility that won't happen in my current role, but we'll see. That's 6 months down the road. Not quite time to. It's not crunch time and that. So, what do we got here? I'm gonna real quick. Let me go ahead and shut the music off. Boom. And hold on. Oh, I was looking at X, and there's the Joker and Catwoman in a jail cell. And I just kept looking at it, and I'm like, the caption is the Joker is saying there must be some kind of way out of here. And then I realized, oh, that's Hendrix. It's Jimi Hendrix. There must be some kind of way out of here. I got to get some relief. All Along the Watchtower. In case any of you want to go listen to that. I don't particularly like Hendrix all that much. That one's okay. So I would recommend, if you're wanting to hear that, go check it out on Spotify. Also, I Do It for the Hood. Check that out too. I like that one because it's poppy and snappy. So check it out too. 1 second here before I show my screen. So, and then they messaged me saying, hey, the Beerly Football messaged me saying, CFP and NFL Playoff Chaos, Beerly Football Live. You won Pick'em last week, and we shouted you out live on our latest show, which I did watch. I recommend going and checking it out. I did all of that. I'm going to say that I'm going to say this again. And there are people that are liking, and I posted this 12 minutes ago, this stream on there, and there are people who liked my post, which is nice because, I mean, it gets the word out more. But looking, I only have 2 viewers currently, and none of the people who are liking these things are in here. Oh, there's a my tip me. Maybe I'll try that. Here, let me follow. I'll just do a little follow quick on X for that. Sorry, again, you're getting some of the background stuff I do in the background. All right, let me get rid of X. We'll get into Modtricca. Let me show my screen. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. So I'm going to try this one for just a second, but it shows that we've watched this. I think we may have watched it. Let me.
4 inches. 4 inches.
Oh yeah. The snow. It's like hail in Arizona, in a place where they normally don't get snow. But looking at it, it's like hail that just built up. Really, I mean, it's not true snow. Still, it's impressive and it's different. So, but that means we've seen that video before. Let's go back to Modtricca, please. Close that. Can you just do Modtricca, please? Thank you. Videos, videos, videos everywhere, but not one to watch. All right. So that means there's these 2 that we haven't seen, and then we'll be kind of caught up unless we want to do an older one, which maybe. Let's do the.
You ain't got to think about it later. And if you haven't already,
second oldest.
Hit that sub button too.
Yeah, let me go ahead and like.
An active community on YouTube. Period. With that being said, guys, stop changing the video.
Be sure to do the same.
There's a leaf in our backyard that's been going crazy back here, so we're going out to investigate. Huh? But for real though, look at it. This one leaf. It's been doing this for like 10 minutes now. There's no wind, nothing. This leaf is just going wild. I can't explain it. Look, nothing else moving, just that leaf. I can't explain this. Why this leaf so lit?
Maybe the leaf is in a position where the wind can hit it just right, or it's a fade trap. Either way, it shouldn't be doing the Macarena.
I wouldn't say it's a fade trap. I really don't have an explanation for that one other than maybe there's something that's vibrating the tree just right, or if it's somehow got planted over electrical lines and there's a little short and it's just coming up like nerves in the human body. There's just the one that's activated or something like that. Or maybe the tree, the nervous system of the tree is just shaking it. Maybe it's like palsy for trees or something. I don't know. It's weird.
What are these lines in the sky that we have all seen?
There's
Tucker
sprayed
Carlson.
particulate dispersion. Bottom line is when we have up-close film footage of these aircraft at altitude with nozzles visible turning dispersions on and off, this is not, quote, condensation. Geoengineeringwatch.org is the only entity to sample what these heavy aircraft are emitting at altitude. We found exactly what we knew we would find, starting with aluminum nanoparticles. Bioavailable freeform aluminum is toxic to all life, period. That element is named in numerous climate engineering patents as part of a geoengineering dispersion element. This elephant in the sky that we are told is a conspiracy theory is exactly what the entire global climate science community says we need to deploy immediately to slow down the warming of the planet.
I feel like there has to be a hidden agenda behind this.
Weird. Yeah, I would say that, and what I don't really understand, I understand aluminum is a soft and light metal, so I could see like cloud seeding or wanting to get it to rain. But I bet there's a bunch of less non-toxic things they could be emitting that do that. Basically, they're poisoning the planet, not just humans. You heard the man, all life. Why isn't this illegal? And it should be. Trump, where are you? Are you my president or are you not? Get this out there.
I'm sure there's a much better way to cool the planet that doesn't involve us breathing in aluminum every day.
Oh my God. She's like right there.
Stanley.
She's not, I'm not afraid of her.
No, yeah.
She's,
Okay. I don't trust this in the slightest because her movements, the way that it looks like a lollipop. Whatever she's got on her hand, like as she shifts her arm, the muscles in her hand change to keep her, it's like something to keep our hand steady and control. You can see when she does it, when she's shifting, the lollipop actually shifts back. So they're taking this as a paranormal encounter, when in reality, it's just her. It's just her movement.
she's literally moving in my hand.
Look, she moves it up more, it moves back. If she does that somewhere else, I bet it does the same thing. She could do it in the middle of the Kansas plains.
Do you guys see what I'm looking at right now?
See, every time she's moving, she's moving, she's moving. She moves.
Get this. You love it. Please record. She likes wine.
This video might be the best evidence of paranormal activity I've ever seen.
No way. I disagree completely with that. This is the best evidence of a drunk woman I've ever seen.
Ghost was trying to grab that sucker like it was trick or treating.
No.
Some spots? What? What are we looking at? The chemtrail?
What the is this?
What am I looking at?
Yeah, what the is that?
What is it? Are you guys seeing something I'm not? Oh, I see them very light.
It's kind of hard to see because the objects are so small, but it looks like it's either a flock of birds or a bunch of metallic orbs. Maybe that's why they were cloud seeding so nobody could see them.
It's 2025, and we're literally flaying Ladybot androids on stage to prove they're real. The floodgates are opening for humanoid chore robot companies unveiling their products, and after the hullabaloo...
Okay. Oh, God. Humanoid chore robots. First of all, these companies, they're going to have cameras. I guarantee you, they'll have cameras and everything, and these companies are going to be watching you through these robots. That's one thing. The robots are probably going to be mandatory connected to your internet. They're going to know everything you're doing through that connection. I guarantee it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Then, everything that you are having these robots do, the companies are going to know about. And there are going to be people that abuse them, if you know what I mean. So, they're going to know that. And I think they actually want that. For whatever reason. This is a very bad idea. I would not have one of these in my home. I don't even want my neighbors to have them. Don't get one of these, guys. Seriously. Your phone is bad enough. This is too far. This is too far.
that Neo just stirred up, this other robot-made organization called Xpeng needed to get the record straight that their iron robots designed to look like female humans are in fact not just a person wearing a full-body costume. I kind of get it too. There's a few moments while the things...
Can you imagine somebody breaking in your house and all they have to do is wear this and they walk in and kind of, take your robot and replace themselves? And so you have some creep in a costume walking around your house pretending to be your servant robot. And then when you're sleeping or when you're away, they just rob you blind. And then they put the robot back. Ugh.
Walking up to the presentation stage where the legs look a little too human-like, they wound up doing a follow-up event where they literally took engineers onto the stage to cut the artificial skin and muscle tissue from the left leg of the robot to expose the inner mechanisms of the thing before it walked off of the stage. And despite knowing that it's definitely not a person, it's still kind of an uncomfy watch. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Instead of trying to make them look so human-like, they need to work on making them faster, because when they demoed the Neo robot, it took them 3 days to unload the dishwasher, and for $20,000, that's unacceptable.
For the first time
I would agree.
in human history, there are mosquitoes in Iceland.
Oh no!
That's crazy. Scientists are like, we have no idea how they got here.
How they got there, also how they're surviving.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is up to something, dude.
Don't you think they're gonna take us out?
We're experiencing that polar shift, dude.
Hmm? Or they're genetically modifying mosquitoes so they can live in any climate.
Maybe.
They're the new cockroach.
Why?
Maybe.
Why would they do that?
Freaky,
That's
though.
dumb.
Super freaky.
Which I will say, everything's been weird this.
Like, there are certain insects. I get that mosquitoes feed certain populations, bats, circle of life kind of thing. But bats can live off of other insects. There are insects on the planet that if you got rid of, and there have been extinction events, right? Animals that have gone extinct and insects that have gone extinct, and nothing bad happened. We still have all the other ecosystems in place. So I would say if mosquitoes just went away and didn't exist anymore, I would be okay with that. Like if they just disappeared. It's weird how bees are disappearing, or they were. Now somehow I guess that got fixed. But yeah, having mosquitoes expand, if somebody's genetically modifying those, why aren't you modifying them to die off, not survive elsewhere? Same thing for hornets and wasps and yellow jackets and all of those nasty little buggers. Engineer something that, mates with all the other stuff, and they're dead within 2 generations. Like, they just don't exist anywhere. Bees can take over. There's other things that can. Wasps don't serve very many purposes, and what they do, if they disappeared, I wouldn't care about. So why?
Year. We say that every year. Like,
Yeah, I know it.
but if you look at, because like the pole shift, it affects weather, ecosystems, and if you look at this year's hurricanes, dude, they are taking that same track. They're not hitting the U.S.
I mean, let's not pretend that bugs being modified, weather manipulation, all this stuff isn't happening and isn't real. It's been in the books, in courtrooms, documents, CIA, FBI, all this stuff. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
And so we just don't know what we're going to be reading about in 30 years. Like, oh yeah, in 2025 they were doing this, they got caught in that, and they had, the documents got declassified later on. It's like we're living in things that we don't even know. We're surrounded by it.
Yeah.
And if it is being manipulated, you're playing with people's lives. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
We've seen that there's laboratories that are breeding genetically modified mosquitoes to eliminate certain diseases, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were modifying their genetics to survive different climates as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't really understand how they're using mosquitoes to eliminate diseases. I mean, why don't you eliminate the flu or viruses in this way? Is that possible? I believe it is. And maybe scientists will prove that one day. But until a mosquito actually proves its usefulness, get rid of them.
Oh my gosh, right now we are out and there's a periscope taking pictures of us in the water. This is so freaky. Holy crap, it is looking around.
And it's
going down. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Oh my gosh.
Time to point a laser.
If I was on that boat, we would be headed back to dry land so fast the motors would start smoking.
Did you know that Orwell's 1984 was published by the Warburg family? They were the family that was basically, they had the biggest hands in the creation of the Federal Reserve. And I think there's something almost...
So they're using it as literally a playbook. Orwell wrote it as a warning not a playbook. Don't let this happen. And here we are.
It's like poetic in the irony of them writing the technocratic dystopian empire that we're living in right now. I just find that, like, I don't know, quite amusing. This is my driver. And what else can you do behind behind? Let's make behind a word. What else can you do besides
Hit a
make
nice
jokes
drive.
about the ridiculous, absurdity?
Right
Like
down
she
the middle.
said, Star Warbird.
She's not set up correctly. I know golf. I've been watching golf videos and stuff. She has the driver dead center of that. You don't want the driver to be set up dead center. You want it more, I mean, not at the tip, but between the dead center and the tip in that spot towards, like, I guess it would be, if it were your foot, it'd be that spot just behind where that ball is, right behind the toes. Right there is the sweet spot. Because then when you swing, you're going to hit it in the sweet spot. Anyway,
was
too much.
instrumental in establishing the Federal Reserve. So the fact that his family published 1984 tells me that it probably wasn't just a fictional novel. It was them laying out the plan to avoid karmic retribution.
The disturbing fact of the day is that it's not
Oh.
the worms. Millions of tiny worms. Thousands of tiny worms.
I don't even know how to ski, but if I saw this, I would be headed back down the mountain like an Olympian.
In 2012, deep in the mountains of Afghanistan, a U.S. Special Forces team reportedly vanished inside a cave. What they found, according to rumors, wasn't a weapon or a bunker. They found something far stranger. A metallic craft buried in stone, shaped like no aircraft known to man. They found a Vimana, a 5,000-year-old flying engine described in India's ancient texts. And the soldiers? They were sucked into a time bubble. What? I know that sounds fantastical, but let's rewind. What actually is a Vimana? In the Sanskrit epics Mahabharata and Ramayana, the gods didn't just fly. They piloted gleaming ships that could rise into the sky like the sun, fire blazing missiles, and even cross into the realm of the stars. Some were as huge as a palace, covered in gold and mirrors. Others, like King Ravana's Pushpaka Vimana, could travel anywhere at the speed of thought. Sounds like a UFO. And yeah, this all sounds like mythology. But here's where it gets weird. A text called the Vimana Shastra claimed to be a technical manual on how Vimanas actually work, complete with fuel recipes, flight instructions, and anti-gravity principles. How did an ancient text...
So, has anybody tried to build one? I mean, you have the schematics and everything. Like, why not? You have the fuel recipes and everything. Like, you have everything you need. And no one tried to build one? Weird.
Know anything about all this, but scientists later tested it and said the aerodynamics were impossible. But believers argue the text was only a fragment, evidence of lost technology from an advanced civilization wiped out by time. Skeptics say it's all poetic metaphor, divine imagination, not divine engineering. Others claim that the story of US soldiers finding a 5,000-year-old Vimana in a cave is a complete hoax. The Vaimanika Shastra also has some holes in its theory, but I dive way deeper into this fascinating machine known as the Vimana in my latest YouTube video. So go give it a watch if you have the time.
I want to say that this story is a hoax, because if we ever discovered an actual Vimana, they would be reverse engineering at an area
yes.
right now, and we would never hear about it.
It's not about compensation.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Like I'm going to go out and buy a yacht with it or something. It's just that if I'm going to build up Optimus and have all these robots out there, I need to make sure we do not have a Terminator scenario, maximize the safety of the robots. And I feel like I need to have something like a 25% vote, which is enough of a vote to have a strong influence, but not so much of a vote that I can't be fired if I go insane. But my concern would be, creating this army of robots and then being fired for political reasons because ISIS and Glass Lewis fire me effectively, or the activists at those firms fire me, even though I've done everything right.
Yeah.
That's my concern. And then I cannot ensure the safety of the robots.
If you don't get that vote, it doesn't go your way. It looks like it's going to. Would you leave? I mean, is that even in the cards? I heard the board was very concerned about that.
Let's just say I'm not going to build a robot army if I can be easily kicked out by activist investors.
My question is, how much money will it take?
I like this line of thought because it's very similar to the checks and balances we have built into the United States government. The reason why our government currently hasn't taken over and really oppressed us, or we don't have a communist government, at this time is that we have those checks and balances. Elon is talking about something that's very similar here in that he is not wanting to build a robot army. He's basically saying, look, if I think what he's really saying is he could build a robot army and take over the world very easily. But having these checks and balances from board members and other people who have influence and say into what is happening at the corporation could then stop him. So that's like a built-in safety measure for himself to not do that. So I am very happy to kind of hear him say that.
For him to not build a robot army, whatever it is, pay the man.
Okay, so it says, oh my God, look at, oh my, this is it. This is the orbs. I think this is the orbs. More recently, a colliding beam fusion reactor space propulsion system has been proposed in 2004, and it is shown right here. More recent, the reaction is the proton boron 11. Oh! Although deuterium, tritium, and helium-3 deuterium reactions were also considered. It is an evolution of the ion ring concept.
Oh.
Neutral beams are injected to produce a current.
So I don't know if everybody here knows what the ion ring is. I don't have a lot of viewers tonight, but maybe on the VOD. The ion ring is basically, we use it mostly as a fan. It is just a ring, and it pushes air through the ion reactions. So it's pushing and pulling electrons from oxygen molecules and other molecules in the air, and that siphons all the air through. That's what it does. This is basically the same thing on a more heavy scale, a longer, instead of a ring, it's more like a tube, and then you can put a fuel source in that, which appears to be the proton of boron 11, and yeah, it makes it go. You make us go. We are not stupid.
Sustains the configuration. So the neutral beams can sustain the configuration. The beams tend to thermalize, and this effect must be compensated by continuous injection, which requires non-negligible amount of recirculating power. So the idea here is what we're doing is we're confining our plasma in this tube, and then it produces external magnetic fields around the entire structure that creates the sphere map. And boron 11, just like with helium-3, is aneutronic. Aneutronic means that the only thing being released in this interaction are alpha particles, no neutrons. So this is directly producing electricity with this configuration.
This could explain why there's been such an influx of orb sightings.
What you could do, and this is kind of it actually is dangerous knowledge, because you could build one of these, and then you could power, you have a power source. You could power your house, electronics, stuff like that, and not be reliant on the grid.
Lately, a lot of them could be man-made.
Stop driving the Waymos. No. They are just randomly stopped. It's a person? Yeah. It's
there's somebody in there?
Yeah, there's somebody in there.
No, there's not.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. She can't get out the car. I kept saying it like I can't. Why you bang on the window, girl? We could have saved you. You need help? Oh my goodness. It's stuck. Somebody's in there. Oh my gosh. And they're stuck. Like the door is locked and it's not letting you out. You can't get out?
I just climb out the window.
If I ever need a ride, I'm either hailing a taxi or calling an Uber, because the Waymo is out here kidnapping people.
Amazon is having facial recognition and ring cameras starting next month, except in the 3 places where it's illegal. That should tell you something. The feature lets ring owners create a database of familiar faces. But to identify who's familiar, the camera has to scan everyone, creating what's called a face print, a unique biometric map of your face. Amazon says the feature won't be available in Illinois, Texas, or Portland. Why? Because those states have strict biometric privacy laws. They're not blocking it to be nice, they're blocking it because they know they'll get sued. Google paid $1.4 billion for capturing facial geometry without consent. Similarly, Facebook paid over $2 billion in discontinued tag suggestions. The Electronic Frontier Foundation points out Amazon knows this, but doing it anyway, just not in states where the laws have teeth. Your face, the mail carrier's face, kids selling cookies, all scanned and stored for up to 6 months, even if you're never tagged.
This is probably happening now,
The purpose for this
by the way.
feature was to sell this data to the feds, because I don't need my doorbell to recognize familiar faces when I can just open up the app and see who it is myself.
You know how people say they have private conversations and then all of a sudden they see advertisements for it on their phone?
Yeah.
What if these companies have found a way to tap into this frequency that our body is emitting? Did you know that the human body emits a frequency? The frequency is called IEEE 802.15.6. Is a standard for short-range, low-power, and highly reliable wireless communication in, on, and around the human body.
So this is like the Matrix for batteries. We're emitting a signal that could be used as an electrical charge, but also could be used for communication. Everything's waves.
The human body emits a frequency that someone can log into, just like how we log into a hotspot or into a Wi-Fi network. What if someone can log on to our network? You know how people say they have private conversations and then all of a sudden they see advertisements for it on their phone?
You've gone full circle, dude.
Companies have found a way to tap into this.
Did I go back?
Over our computer.
There's a woman named Sabrina Wallace that breaks down body area networks in the human biofield, and based on her research, they can definitely do this.
Dude, is that robin, like, floating in the sky? Whoa, that is so weird. How birds are just...
It looks like it's perched on something invisible.
And there has to be
Okay. We've seen something like this before. I think this is edited. This actually, I mean, an even easier way would be to have a picture of a bird, crop out whatever it's sitting on, take a picture of that, put that on a wall, then film that and say, oh, were you seeing this bird just hovering here doing nothing? Well, there you go.
Line that we just can't see, because I know this bird isn't just levitating.
Access to your social media.
Oh, that's a very common thing now. A lot of games, they are heavily incentivizing linking your social media accounts to your game accounts and letting them see your contacts, your friends list. Well, because they want all that data, they want to know who they can market to. They want to see what your demographics are. They want to say, what is this customer like?
Can you opt out?
So there are some games that require you to have social media integration. There's other. Do you feel with dark patterns?
No.
So like there are these patterns that exist in social media design and app design that steer you down a particular direction. And so they don't force you to do it. But the average user, unless they're trying to fight their way out of it, is going to do it. So for example, I'll be logging into a game. I've just downloaded Overwatch 2, and it says you need to log in. You can either go through this extremely convoluted process of creating a new only Overwatch 2 Blizzard account, or you can click the button that says log in with Google or log in with Facebook. What are 99?
Right.
And then you click it, and it says, to do this, you have to give us permission to see this. And look, you and I care about this stuff because I think we're relics who remember when privacy was a thing and when some things are for yourself. A lot of these kids, they just don't care.
They just click it.
You talk to the Gen Z kids, and it's like, well, why do you want? Are you going to give that away? They say, well. Like they don't see value in it, and they grew up with that as the norm.
Right.
And that's why I say it's important to remember when it wasn't the norm.
I used to be excited about the future
Yeah.
of this new technology, but once the
So I'm actually thinking, and I've been thinking for a while now, of just getting off of my phone and not using my phone so much. Now I need to have it for my pager duty assignment, so I'll need to have it next week, but I'm thinking like what I think I'm going to do moving forward is just not watch YouTube or Instagram or play games like this for this reason. I put them on there, and I have done that where I clicked because it's easy. It just makes it really easy, and most of those companies already have that information. So I don't think about a new company having it or anything, but maybe. But I think all of that information is already so far out there. It's so, I mean, the one thing that's to our advantage is that it's everywhere, all over, in every place, and it's different here and there. But AI is going to probably get that all into one thing and condense it down and make it so anybody who wants that data is going to have it. I mean, they are going to have it if they don't already. But I think that, you know, well, a lot of the stuff I've heard tonight, but and some stuff I've just been thinking about is, you know, just, you know, I might watch YouTube and stuff on my TV through the PlayStation, but for my phone, from that perspective, I think, you know, I'll use it for phone calls, texting. That stuff is okay. Beyond that, I just put it away and I don't use it anymore. And I know they can track you and they can listen to all your conversations and all of that stuff. If I didn't have a job that required my phone to log into my account, and if I didn't need dual authentication for things, and, you know, and I could disconnect from all of that. So I'm thinking about just getting to a more simple thing where, and the other thing I was actually thinking about is maybe next time I downgrade a phone to where the only thing the phone has in it is the ability to text, the ability to call, and that's it. No cameras, no nothing in it really. I mean, it's just a phone, and that's it, you know. But I don't think you can ever completely get away from that. So what am I on right now? I'm on YouTube. I have a camera on the laptop, which I could cover that up, but there's speakers in there. Other people have phones, and you know, there's no way I'm going to get away from it, but I don't have to help be the problem. So it's just something I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'll do it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if anybody can do it, but that's my 2 cents.
These companies started mining and selling our data. It kind of ruined everything.
Is a that's a lavanado or a
Yeah,
volcano,
I've seen
maybe?
this.
That is a tornado from a volcano.
I wonder where that is.
We got to capture a bit more of that. Like, that is incredible.
This would be beautiful to witness in person, just not this close, because if you get swallowed up by a tornado, it's over with.
A lot of you have been commenting on You Know Who's video, and it's kind of got me wondering.
Why is she so red?
Is human cloning possible? We're able to clone Dolly the sheep.
Human cloning has occurred. I guarantee it. As soon as they announced that was the signal, right? They said, "Hey, we can clone a sheep." Well, once you get to that point, there's really nothing to stop you from cloning anything. Now, they did pass laws, for what it's worth, to stop human cloning. But again, I've said there's islands out there in the middle of the ocean. They could stick a lab right there and do all the cloning they want, and they wouldn't be breaking any laws, not even international ones, because they could form their own island nation with their own regulations, and they wouldn't be subject to international law. And not only that, but international law is a joke. The Chinese and Russians have been violating international law in international waters for decades, and the only people to stop them are the United States and some of the Western countries, England, France, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Australia, Japan, those types. But it's there's no international governing body that's just going to be like, okay, you violated a bunch of stuff, now we're going to go in and we're going to take Hong Kong from you, or whatever the penalty would be, you know. And it would have to be super aggressive like that for people to not violate it. Anyway, human cloning's already happened. They'll probably walk among us. Who knows?
And they also resurrected a pair of dire wolves. However, most believe that human cloning is an absolute reach.
Now, when she says they've cloned dire wolves, that's not 100% true. Yes, I guess they could be considered dire wolves because they're even bigger than normal wolves, but I think they just took like the biggest version of the wolf and bioengineered it to be a little bigger, and that's what they're calling a dire wolf. It's not a true dire wolf.
However, they've hinted to it in movies like Multiplicity.
By a miracle of modern science, I just need a little time for myself. Doug Kinney is about to get the one thing he's more of. Doug, your clone. Yourself.
Didn't turn out too well because the clones were making other clones and they were just getting dumber and dumber until eventually.
Doug, I'd like to read more. Where's Scout Talk? We need a copy from 2. And you know sometimes you make a copy of a copy, it's not quite as sharp as, well, the original.
Like in the newly released movie Mickey 17, where Robert Pattinson's character hates his life on Earth so much that he signs up to be an expendable.
Mickey, deep breaths. Imagine there's an unknown virus in the air, and you're sucking in every single microscopic particle floating around.
And then you have the movie The Substance, in which Demi Moore's character is so
Weird.
desperate for youth that she uses a black market substance extracted from her younger self. A lot of you call this conspiracy, but what if we've known about this for a long, long time? Listen closely.
Through it's called SCNT, which knows all of the news, and I broke through taking my old skin cell. I took a woman's egg, took her DNA out of it, put my DNA into it, and grew it in vitro, and developed my own stem cell lines. Wow. I'm the only guy in the world today who has me in a petri dish before I was born.
And after only 2 years of not being able to obtain his substance, he went from this to this, which makes me wonder, is truth more stranger than fiction?
Oh, I don't know if that's an improvement.
They can clone a human, but they need to do more
That
research
looks
with the stem cell anti-aging.
worse.
Peter Nygaard went from looking 60 years old to 360 years old in 2 years.
You just brought
Yeah.
up the unfinished obelisk in Egypt. That was by far the largest obelisk that they had ever created, okay? More than double the size of the biggest one.
Right.
Meanwhile, in Easter Island, the largest moai ever that was being created, like 2 to 3 times bigger than any of the moai that are there, was being taken out of the host rock, just like in Egypt. Meanwhile, you go across the world to China. You go to a place called Yangshan Quarry in China, and they were in the middle of taking out the largest blocks in human history. Some of them weighed like.
Can that guy have a smaller shirt on?
Meanwhile, you add one more, Baalbek, Lebanon, and the quarries there, they were taking out the largest that they'd ever done, and they never made out of the quarry. What you have in common with all of these locations from everywhere around the world is that the civilization was in the midst of creating the largest that they'd ever created of these structures, which means that they're at the height of their civilization because they were taking on the biggest projects they'd ever done globally. Everyone was. And then all of a sudden the work stopped out of nowhere, and they just vanished. That tells us a few things. It tells us, one, they probably...
I think that's God. It's kind of like the Tower of Babel, which means Babel means to talk incoherently. But we get it from the Bible. And they were building this tower in, I think the city was called Babel. So the Tower of Babel. And they all spoke one language, and because of this, and they were putting their minds together, they could do literally anything they wanted. And they were going to build a tower to heaven so they could go and meet and live with God in heaven. Which today, when you think about it, is kind of scary because if they had gone high enough, they would have reached outer space and realized, oh, we can't breathe up here. Now, granted, I mean, you take it further, like maybe they invent the spacesuit back then, and then they continue to build like out into space. Gets to be kind of a no-win scenario. I mean, you can keep stacking on, but the Earth is spinning and that tower is also spinning, and then how are you going to get to the next planet? I mean, you're going to build the tower and it's going to come, and you're just going to jump onto it or jump off of it, and how fast is it going to be going by? Because, you know, the further out you go from the center point, it's going faster exponentially. So, I mean, how fast would it be going if there was a tower as tall as Mars from here to Mars? Boy, that would be something else. It would be interesting. It's just a weird thought experiment, but I'm off track now.
Were caught off guard somewhat, or they wouldn't be taking on massive projects right before they're about to be destroyed. And two, the scope of these events must have been so severe that most of them must have perished.
If we apply this to our current situation, globally, AI is the largest project that we've ever taken on as a civilization between all the data centers and infrastructure. So we need to be careful that history doesn't repeat itself.
Oh, that's wild. It reads, I took this picture of my boss lifting the door to a storage unit, which is, I would hate to be a ghost haunting a storage unit.
Although you have to imagine there are a lot of them, because storage units oftentimes just collect people's stuff even after they die.
Oh, this is that museum. They have a lot of paranormal activity in that museum. I just watched a video on this, I think on this channel. Yeah, they're inviting trouble. Anyway, that looks to be either edited or a reflection of somebody else standing off.
Sales while they're moving things around. It might be the first location that a haunted object goes to after a tragedy.
And I captured this. He was still reaching up to open the door when I snapped it, and it looks like they caught a teenage boy who was in his emo phase.
Zoom in on his neck, and that's what I thought the injury point was.
Yeah.
It's either that,
when you zoom in, you actually get a good look at his face. He kind of looks like Adam Driver. It's unnerving to get that close, actually. Now that we've enlarged it, he is.
I like him from afar.
Yeah, the further away he is, the more I'm like, oh yeah, he's just chilling in.
He's just a cool guy.
He's a cool guy, but when you get close, you're like, oh no, there's something wrong with him.
If this was my storage unit, it would be up for auction by now, because I'm not going back.
Yeah. East Lower Bridge Road. That looked like a deer to me. Or a horse, maybe? Yeah. Large dog or a horse?
I'm not sure how legitimate this footage is, but it kind of looks like a skinwalker in the process of shapeshifting into a velociraptor.
Scientists discovered the world's largest spider web. In
Ah, gross!
Greek border, scientists have discovered what they're calling the world's largest singular spider web. The massive web stretches across 1,140 square feet, about half the size of a tennis court. According to their article published in Subterranean Biology, a peer-reviewed open-access journal, the scientists estimate the web is home to two rival species of spiders living together in a colony. Approximately 69,000 common house spiders and 42,000 vagrant spiders. They describe it as the first documented case of colonial web formation in these species. A video sparking attention online shows one of the researchers touching the web.
Yeah, I
with
would.
Over 110,000 spiders. What do you think of the world's largest spider web?
I thought the Juro spider in my backyard.
I wouldn't be touching it with my bare hand. Sorry. I just wouldn't. Oh, he's naming his Chinese baby. An abandoned house, huh? Is he supposed to be there? I'm thinking not. Oh, it's flooded down there. Okay, well. Is that Was that a person standing in the doorway? Ooh. I like how bright the light is. It sounds like somebody watching a video of him. It looks like somebody holding a phone.
Clearly this is an abandoned building, so he shouldn't even be here in the first place. Now he trapped in the basement with Slender Man.
She just experienced the scariest moment of her life, because as she was recording her cat, she called it over, but it didn't respond. Moments later, a bright flash appeared out of nowhere, but when she rewatched the footage, she realized that wasn't her cat.
If this was my cat, I would have to leave it at the doorstep of the nearest humane society with a bowl of meow mix and never look back.
Super fast. That's awful. Oh my God. Whoa.
Are they sure that this is a ceiling fan? Because it's moving like a helicopter.
I was just thinking, it looks like a helicopter.
But how's the video?
Dude, if that fell off at any point, Blender, you're dead. You're dead. It's a metal fan too. So the blades are metal. Oof. I don't think there was anything paranormal about the last one. It's just, why? Like, get a different motor in there. I think you could do it. I think somebody could put an actual fan in there that's safer. But that's what I got for you for tonight. We're going to end it kind of early. I'm going to still try to go get some sleep. And then I got to go into the office tomorrow. So that's what I got for you. That's all I got. That's all I know. That's all I am. Go listen to all along the Watchtower. Talk some sports. Go Broncos. Beat those Raiders on Sunday. I'll come back on tomorrow with either another, we'll see how tired I am, with either another reaction video or I'll play something. Maybe I'll try to take on the Radiants again on Hollow Knight. Who knows? Oh, I blanked out. Sorry, that's how tired I am. All right, that's all I got for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Until then, be good to each other.